a new location, also a few more pages since the last time I actually recorded. I think I was around 100 or 110 in the Wish. I was actually at a crab bowl, so I only recorded and I didn't talk to the camera. And I also don't think I've actually updated about this book. First off, I'm around 174 pages. I'm almost halfway through, or I am about halfway through. I'm almost halfway through. There's about 386 pages, and so far I have to say I'm enjoying this book a lot. I know I've taken a lot of breaks because I started this a few weeks ago, but if you've seen my life, or if you've been kind of active in my life, you might know that our life has been very, very busy, and it's kind of hard to even start recording because everything's been up in a whim. So I've been slowly reading this, and tonight I want to try and get to at least 200, if not 250. I kind of want to update a little bit. So first off, I have seen it off and on BookTube, Book Talk. I feel more so like BookTube itself. A lot of people have reached back for this book, and I have to say I've had this book for many years and I just have not ever reached for it. Nicholas Sparks is one of those authors that for the most part I'll buy any book from him. 90% of his books are high 3 stars or even 4 stars. Only a couple are 2 stars, or I just didn't like them in general. And he's been a auto buy, I think is what people say, auto buy author for a very long time. I think since high school or maybe even middle school for me, like late middle school. I collected a lot of his books since then. So he was one of the first, and I enjoy most of his stories. They are very, very good. He's also one of those like comfort authors for me, where for the most part, if I'm in a slump, I can pick up one of his books and I feel like 99% of the time they're going to help me get out of the slump. With that being said, The Wish, of course, is so far no different than any other book that is a high 3 stars or 4 stars or more rating. It still feels just as good, and I like the premise of it because it is dual timeline. He has a few books like this, but this book in particular I really enjoy. It is one of those that I think we started off in 1995 and now I'm at 1996, but the second part of that timeline is 2019. So we do have a bit of a jump from 1995 to 2019, and it is the same character, which I kind of enjoy. Her name is Maggie. In 2019, she actually has a medical condition, one type or another, that actually she ends up now reflecting on her life because she has somebody who comes and works for her and they kind of sit down. I'm sure they're connected in one way or another. I have a couple theories on that as well, but of course I'm not going to talk about that because that would be spoilers, especially if they came true. But basically she sits down and she ends up telling a story about how when she was around 15, I do believe, she ended up having to live with her aunt, and that takes us back to the 1995-1996 timeline, which is very interesting. I actually have been very much intrigued, and so far I've been enjoying it, especially since I've been putting it down and leaving this book for multiple days and only reading like 2 pages. I still find it very easy for me to come back and hop right into the story. So I think this right now is going to be at least 3.5 star. I'm leaning more towards 4 stars, but a lot of people have already said that this book has changed them, or by the end of it that they cry. I'm not a big crier. I don't show a lot of emotion, especially towards books. I have that 5-star feeling, but other than that, that's as far in depth for emotion that I go to. So I'm kind of intrigued about the ending. I have a lot of theories and thoughts about how this would end because I've read so many of his books. I feel like I kind of know a lot of how he writes. It is now 10 o'clock and I'm just gonna sit here, try and read some more. I'm gonna sit on our couch. This is a new location. We got our couch inside. Eventually I will update on what's been going on in our life. We're still trying to figure it out because we had a very big sucker punch pretty much happen. So right now we moved our couch into this lovely room. I call it the cistern room. Behind me is all these windows. I got a nice little blanket. I got my book. I can get some water. Let's see how many pages I can tackle while sitting down here. Boy, Do I have a funny update for y'all? It is almost 3 a.m. and I fell asleep. I only made it to page 194. Yeah, at least I made it to 194, but I was hoping to get to 250. I guess after swimming half of the day and cleaning the other half, I'm pretty positive that the shower I took put me straight to bed. And actually last night, I ended up finishing The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. Also, in case you hear my son right over here playing. Normally, Nicholas Sparks books are 3-4 stars. Every once in a while, I'll get a 2-star book from him. And sometimes I will get a 5-star book. It took me like a month to read and I finally finished it. It was still a 5-star read. I enjoyed every single bit of it. I love the 2 timelines. I love the characters. For the most part, I did halfway through the book. I did end up guessing a few things. There's 2 different individuals for the most part that they have significant events or things happen to them. And the first one we're just gonna say is the past one. His name is Bryce. And then the second one is Mark from the future timeline. And I guessed both of them and the ending and everything like that. Probably because I've been reading Nicholas Sparks books for many years now. But still, nonetheless, I enjoy this book so much. 5 stars. And then this morning, actually, I decided to pick up one of the books that I just recently bought. Book Lovers. I did kind of do like a little Instagram poll. Not very many people voted on it. I think only 3 or 4. And Book Lovers was in the lead, so I decided to go ahead and read this one, or at least start it. I'm only 10 pages into it. I'm not very far at all into it. Thing about Book Lovers that I just can't get over. The main character, Nora, sits down with Charlie at like a meeting, and for whatever reason, I pictured Charlie at like 40 years old or 50 years old, and I guess they're technically supposed to be around the same age, and also he's going to be the other main character of this book. In my mind, I can't stop picturing him as much older. Another night, another location. This location is hopefully going to make more appearances here in the future, but as of right now, we're just gonna get this nice scenery. I'm actually not going to be reading here with this backdrop. I'm actually going to be reading sitting on a trailer while my husband is trying to fix a mower. But we are still reading Book Lovers. I've actually gotten to page 151. This is chapter 14. I feel like I'm starting to love it more. I'm coming around to the characters, and right now it's just reading like any other Emily Henry book. I still think that People We Meet on Vacation is going to be my absolute favorite. This is giving me more of beach read vibes, where I'm not necessarily that into it. I don't know if it was the beginning part or what, but it's not a bad book at all. It's like 3-4 stars, but nothing too crazy. Nothing that's gonna really stick to me as much as People We Meet on Vacation. So I'm excited to see how much I can read in the next couple minutes. Actually, probably an hour. We're probably gonna be here since he's trying to fix on stuff. And then we might go back to the house that we are staying at and go and swim. It's getting dark. It's actually past sunset pretty much. It looks pretty nice on camera as far as I can tell, but we have this nice light pole right here. But I will be getting closer to the actual house / garage that has its own light. So let's see how much I can tackle. Final page count, 199. I'm actually almost done with 199. I just had to stop because we came back to the house that we're living at right now. So from, what did I start with? 150, I do believe? Pretty much 50 pages. That's not bad. We were there for like an hour and a half. It might look like a hot mess right now, but I went to go outside, finish drying off. I've been swimming in the pool with my son for about 2 hours, give or take, and I want to finish my book. I think I only have around 30 pages or so, not too much. So let's go see if I can finish my book. I did it. I finished Book Lovers. So exciting to have finished a second book this month. Since the last 2 months I have not read a single book, or at least completed a single book. I did have to move inside. It got a little dark by the time I actually finished this, which, I mean, it happens. I'm gonna do an overview and end out this whole video. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm kind of trying to be silent because it's around probably 11 p.m. right now. But basically with Book Lovers, I did enjoy this book a little bit in the beginning. It was like a little bit of a rough start. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I figured I would get more into it as it progressed, and I definitely did. I rated this one 3 stars though. It was not my favorite Emily Henry book that I've read so far by her. First was Beach Read, then People We Meet on Vacation. People We Meet on Vacation is my favorite. Beach Read is a 4-star as well as People We Meet on Vacation. And then Book Lovers has to be my least favorite so far at 3 stars, which, like I said, it's not a bad book. It just wasn't my necessarily favorite book. But nonetheless, I'm so glad I finally got to this book. Now I just have Happy Place and then her new one, which is Funny Story. So that is very exciting. And then of course, when we started this video, or at least when I started this video, I don't know how many weeks ago, but I was reading The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. I think if you remember, I don't know how long this video is going to be because it's been so many days, so I'm so sorry about that. But if you remember back to this book, I absolutely love this book. I usually like Nicholas Sparks books in general, but this was a 5-star. I liked the story. I loved everything about it. For some reason, I was just super engaged, and this brought me back into reading since I had not read in 2 whole months pretty much, and I had been trying to read the Game of Thrones, and then with moving and everything else, it was such a big book that I just kind of soft DNF'd it for now. So hopping into this and finishing this book was a very big job, but also like an accomplishment. I felt like I did pretty good. So overall, we only got to 2 books in this video, not very many, but I did get a few different locations, not as many as I necessarily wanted, or at least like the backdrops, and that was just because I was doing this over the course of so many weeks, so many days, and I kind of forgot to film a lot of them while I was reading. So I'm sorry if this video is not the best. I've been trying to get back into filming because I've taken so long off, and I also have not even edited videos in so long. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see y'all in another video here on my channel, and God bless.